Peace family, my name is Isaiah. I am a co-founder and vice president of EdAnime Productions. I am also the author of the Meltrek Exploring Ancient Africa storybook. Meltrek is an animated series which was the first project created by EdAnime Productions in 2014, and the objective of the project is to teach African history from an African perspective. One of our main goals with this is to teach that the history of African people did not begin with slavery. It began thousands of years ago in Africa, and history of African people began hundreds of thousands of years ago in Africa. So in this episode, the 5 kids go back in time to ancient Africa. They learn through hip-hop music. So they meet a young boy named Ramesses who takes them all around the continent to different civilizations where they learn about different kings and queens, and they learn about a lot of great achievements that they wouldn't learn about in the school system, right? So
name some. A lot of achievements.
Okay.
So name some.
Like the structures we build, such as the pyramids, for example, our astrological observations that are not accredited to Africans but are accredited to Europeans now. A lot of the different calendars we had. We also had different achievements in war. We developed different war strategies. We had different achievements in as scholars, we have philosophers and things like that aren't taught about in the school system today. So along with the Meltrek episode, we have supplementary products such as storybooks and coloring books. Here is the Meltrek Episode 1, Exploring Ancient Africa storybook. It's similar to the film. I actually authored the book. We have a glossary and a bibliography in the storybook. We also have a coloring book. We also have a coloring book that has several activities in it in which the children can learn about these materials are pretty much created to help ingrain the information into your child's brain, because we know that the animation is very fast paced with the rap music and such. So the book and the storybook and the coloring book are created so that your information can really grasp, so that your children can really grasp the information to the best of their ability. Along with that, we have Meltrek Episode 2, Exploring the Pre-Columbian Americas. This is a very innovative project right here because none of this information is taught in the school system. With episode 1, some of this they may learn in the school system, but episode 2 they teach nothing about the African presence in America before Columbus. So in this episode, we mostly focus on the ancient cultures there before Columbus, but then we focus on the African presence there before Columbus that is not taught about in the school system at all. So we're currently working on the Meltrek Episode 3 animation. In this animation, we're going to focus on the African diaspora. There's actually going to be a 2-part series. So in episode 3 and 4, we're going to talk about the African diaspora. In the first episode, you're going to learn about the slave castles that happened. We're going to learn about the first encounters between the Europeans and the Africans, how the trade began and how that trade went from items to selling slaves. So we're going to talk about the slave castles. We're going to talk about the imperialistic strategies of the Europeans. We're going to talk about how the church actually impacted the slave trade and how they profited from it. So we're going to talk about a lot of information, and this information is important because they're actually weaning this information out of the school system as we speak. So they're acting like slavery, like imperialism, like the African diaspora, how we know it, never really happened. So that's why we are very passionate about teaching this information. We're working on the research right now. We're getting ready to start the scripting soon. So be on the lookout for that. All products that we have from Meltrek Episode 1, Meltrek Episode 2, and you'll be looking out for Meltrek Episode 3 will be available on edanimeproductions.com. That's EDANIME Productions with the S.com. Also follow us on all social media platforms at EdAnime Productions.